Hi, welcome to Beef Cattle Institute's Ask the Experts. I'm Brad White. Happy to be joined by two experts today, Dr. Bob Weber.
Hello.
And Dr. Bob Larson.
Got the Bobs today.
The Bob versus Bob battle. So we've got a great question for you. And as always, if you have a question, you can send it to us at bci@ksu.edu. And today's listener question, of which you guys will get up to 10 points for your answer, is, should I use sex semen in my operation? Bob, I'm going to go to you first.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have any reasons why?
Yeah. So I think sex semen is a really interesting technology for both seed stock and commercial beef producers. And the control of, or predominant control of gender of the resulting calf is a really powerful tool for us as animal breeders. So, if we're a commercial producer, maybe using the technology to drive a replacement female and maternal trait selection decision. So the implementation of that, so producing mostly heifers and avoiding the steer mates to those maternal influence heifers is valuable from a production standpoint. But it lets you really focus your selection approach for those maternal traits. As a seed stock producer, I get excited about it because I can do that, right? I can build really high quality maternal females, but I could also use the flip of that and use male sort semen to produce a disproportionate number of bulls that have obvious marketing opportunities tied to them. So I get more bulls produced from a fewer number of cows.
So it gives me a lot of opportunities to really manage that terminal versus maternal. Bob, what about you? Should I use sex semen in my herd?
I do like this technology, but there are still some really big hurdles in a commercial operation to make artificial insemination work. Particularly, now, I can make artificial insemination work with my replacement heifers in a commercial herd relatively straightforward. The problem is trying to really implement artificial insemination in my maternal herd because in order for that to work, I need cows that calve really early, they're in good body condition, and I'm willing to do the cost and expense because my cost per pregnancy goes up. So I need some reasons. First of all, I have to have the right herd, and I need to have a plan, such as selling more replacement heifers or selling cattle into a carcass grid or something like that to really make it pay. So I do like this technology. I'm not ready to apply it universally or even close to that at this point.
Okay. So fair enough. Both of you started out good answers. Weber's got 6 and you have 5. But I want to follow up with you, Bob. I'm going to put it in my herd. You convince me. What are the 1 or 2 things I need to do to prepare to be sure it's successful?
Well, I think Dr. Larson's points relative to the cow herd setup are spot on, right? You can't step into even a reasonably managed herd and expect really high performance in an AI program. The herds that are great candidates for using gender sort semen are already very well managed in terms of cow body condition score, reproductive rate, calf distribution, and so forth. And so it's kind of an add-on in that way. It's not a replacement for bad management.
Yep, excellent. So you got to fix it first and then try to implement things like this. So I think that's a good point. But Bob, I'm going to turn to you, and because you said no, you're not going to use it. Give me your alternative, because our goal is I want to create good maternal genetics and good terminal genetics. What can I do instead of sex semen?
Well, there's a couple of options that I have. One is to work with a producer that's really emphasizing producing female replacements and purchasing my replacements. And then I can use a focus on terminal traits in my commercial herd. So that can work, and we certainly see producers that make that work, and it's based on a relationship with someone that supplies them with the heifers that they want. The other thing is, like I said, you could kind of do a hybrid of what we've been talking about in that do some gender-selected semen on my replacement heifers to get more replacement heifers, and I could make that work pretty well. It won't give me quite enough replacement heifers, but it's a good start, and it allows me to kind of get my foot into some of the advantages of this relatively new tool that's really something we should probably take a look at, which is gender-sorted semen.
So you like it, you just have to be sure it's in the right herd.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I go back to just, if I want to give one factoid, it's if I'm going to use artificial insemination in a beef cow herd, it needs to be in the cows that calved in the first 25 to 30 days.
Yep.
And that needs to be a high percentage of my herd. It's probably not worth it.
Absolutely. So great points on both sides. Weber ended up with 9 and Larson ended up with 8. So thanks for joining us. If you have further questions, you can send us an email at bci@ksu.edu.